What Howie Roseman just said has the NFL shaking in their boots. Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, King Dingbat here, and you know what scares NFL teams? When Howie Roseman says the words, "We are not done yet." When he says that, NFL teams get shook. They get scared. Because when Howie Roseman makes moves, the moves matter. We don't do the little Jerry Jones, it's my birthday move. No, we do major moves. And Howie Roseman's saying, we are not done yet. We aren't even close. And you better watch out. And this got the NFL shook. Now, we're going to get into it in a second. But before we do that, I want to talk about some more great signs and great news in regards to one Haason Reddick, because we're getting reports, and this comes on off of, having Jeffrey Lurie thinking or making it sound like there's a chance Haason Reddick will be back in Philly. We're getting reports now that the Eagles expect at least a second-round pick for Reddick. Sources to the Liberty Line Philly, and this is Jake Rabati, he says, the Pound Eagles are seeking at least a second-round pick in a trade for Haason Reddick and aren't wavering off their price. Trade discussions aren't progressing at the moment. That and more in my piece, and he has it at Liberty Line. Check out the article. But the Eagles are asking for a second-round pick. And to me, this would have to be the minimum of minimums for me if I was the Eagles. You can't trade Haason Reddick for something like a third-round pick. I mean, that's just not, you can't just give this guy away for nothing. It would be crazy. I don't even like a second-round pick. I don't even think that's enough. Maybe 2 second-round picks, but it ain't going to happen. The Eagles are at least asking for a second-round pick, and I got to think that it's sounding like Haason Reddick is going to finish his last season in Philly. And I could not be more happy. That makes this Eagles pass rush deep and very, very good, very, very dangerous. And I don't think this is a bad thing. If the Eagles get a second-round pick, okay, now the question is would the Eagles trade him for a 2025 second-round pick? I hope not, because if you did that, then you would essentially be giving Reddick away and getting nothing in return going into next year, and I don't think that's good. You want to get at least a second-round pick for Haason Reddick. You've got to, okay? You've got to want that. Now, as I was saying about Howie Roseman, Howie, I don't know. He did he spoke at the owners' meetings. It wasn't even recorded. It wasn't even like a press conference. I don't know if it was like luncheon, but there's no video of it, at least that I could find. But Jake Rabati wrote this, and this was what Howie said. Quote, "We are not done yet. We're always looking and always working to try and improve our roster. We have a lot of work ahead of us, and we're looking forward to preparing for a big NFL draft weekend." Howie Roseman. Now listen, I will say part of what he is saying here is what Howie Roseman always says. We're always looking to get better and always trying to improve our roster, and we'll call everybody. But the "we are not done yet," to me, I'm telling you, I truly believe that Howie has a big trick up his sleeve. Pause. I believe he has a card he hasn't played yet. There is going to be a wild move that is going to blow our minds. I do. And I don't think it involves trading Reddick. I think it's going to be somebody that's coming to Philly. What will it be? I'm not really sure. I mean, dude, this guy is loaded with draft picks if he needs to use them. He has tons of cap space. I don't know if you guys have seen the updated numbers. Over the Cap finally updated their numbers. The Eagles have just over $31 million in cap space. For Howie Roseman, That's a ton of money. A ton of money, okay? And that's not even counting whether or not the Eagles restructure Haason Reddick, which would free up another $11 million. So if the Eagles technically, let's say they restructured Haason Reddick and the last year of his deal, you would then have $42 million in cap space. But this team's sitting with about $31 million in cap space. And you got Howie Roseman saying, we are not done yet. Yes, you better believe a move is coming, and a pretty significant one at that. What is it going to be? I don't know. But I can tell you this, with $31 million, there's no sense in coming off a second-round pick demand for Haason Reddick, because it's not like you're struggling cap-wise. He's already under contract. You might as well have him play out the last year of his deal. I mean, what else are you going to do? The Eagles are good. They got something up their sleeve. Now, there was a comment that was made by Jeffrey Lurie yesterday, and he was talking about at the owners' meeting. He was talking about how he said, we've got to do some things different. We've got to change the way we approach some things. I specifically think he was talking about the specific position of linebacker. I think Howie Roseman was talking about linebacker. They went out and signed Devin White, but really, I mean, that's it. Oh, well, they got this kid, Oren Burks. I don't know much about him. I know that when he filled in San Francisco, he did a pretty good job, and he's a good special teams guy. It would not surprise me if the Eagles are looking and eyeing a specific player, a linebacker, under contract, somebody in the last year of a rookie deal that a team may know that they're going to lose and would be willing to trade. It would not surprise me to see Howie Roseman pull a huge draft day type move for a guy. It just seems like it. It seems like, it feels like there are a couple shoes yet to drop. And I think one really big influential move is going to take place. And I'm not counting that as the draft, okay? The draft is a whole other issue, and we're going to talk about that in a second, because there's something I want to say about that. But my thoughts are this. The Eagles, with Howie Roseman saying, we're not done yet. This team has not finished building this roster. And I'm sure Howie Roseman is eyeing somebody specifically. Who that is, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Now, you got Justin Simmons, very quiet out there with him. Julian Blackmon's still there. I actually like the idea of Julian Blackmon. And then, it's quite possible. Listen, the Eagles, they can make one trade, one more move. They could just sit on the money they have and let it roll over next year. There's a lot of things that they can do. And as far as going into the draft, I think the Eagles are in a really great situation. This is a team who's a Super Bowl contender, and they don't need just one specific position that is going to put them over the top. And I think if they go out and they play it right in the draft, I think that the Eagles can focus, especially in the first round. And here's the key to a first round, in my opinion. It's essential in most cases, not all cases, but in most cases, that you follow the rule that in the first round, you take the best talent on the board. You have your draft board, you have your rankings, take the best guy. Don't worry about the position. Where the Eagles have gotten in trouble before is when they look at specific positions in the first round, or they look at a specific skill set in the first round, instead of focusing on the best player available. And that's what the Eagles have to avoid. So, for example, when you look at how the Eagles draft, and we just take a look at what they've done in the past, I think there's a very good possibility, a very real possibility, that the Eagles are going to draft an offensive lineman, an offensive tackle in the first round. This is a total area at 22 where I could see the Eagles going offensive tackle. We know how they value the offensive line. We know that they really have not made any big significant moves on the line yet. And I could totally see them taking an offensive tackle in the first round. But if the Eagles decided to just really follow the rule of we're just drafting best player available in the first round, second round, third round, fourth round, all those other rounds, we can focus on specific positions. But in the first round, just get the best talented player available. Well, I could see a situation where the Eagles draft a wide receiver. And I know that's crazy out of the box, but if a wide receiver is the best player on the board, take him. Take him. Why not? Eventually, you're going to need him to be a starter anyways. Even tight end. Now get this. Former NFL GM Mike Tannenbaum has the Eagles in his mock draft drafting star tight end Brock Bowers, pairing him with Dallas Goedert. Now, when I've heard this, because let me tell you, he is far from the first person to bring this up. I would tell you there's a lot of people that are putting comments in my chats that come on my channel that have been saying this is what the Eagles need to do. And it's really not necessarily a bad move at all. It really isn't, because what you're doing is you're getting yourself another tight end for the future. The Eagles did this with Ertz and Goddard. I think Ertz was 28 years old when they drafted Goddard. I think Goddard's 28, 29 now himself. So you draft Brock Bowers, now you have two really good tight ends to go along with the rest of the offense. Look at the potential offensive playmakers here for the Eagles. Look at this. You have Hurts, Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, and Brock Bowers. That is a sick offense. You are going to score a lot of points. And when it comes to Dallas Goedert and when he goes, you know what? You're perfectly set at tight end. And we have seen how dangerous the Philadelphia Eagles could be at tight end when they have two good tight ends. It could be nasty. So to me, a situation like that is not a situation I would shy away from. Now, if you said, let me make this clear. I'm not saying what my personal preference and what we should do is. I'm saying the Eagles have the flexibility to do all these things because they're so well-rounded right now. I do specifically feel like you need to go defense early and often, but you could really follow the path of let's get the best player and still get defensive players in the second round, third round, fourth round, whatever. But I mean, if you said to me, well, Philly, what don't you think the Eagles are doing? What would you do? I'm going cornerback. I'll probably go corner because I think I could have an instant starter with one of these corners that are coming out. I think there's about 3-4 good corners in the first round that could start on the Eagles right away. That's what I would do. However, Howie Roseman, I mean, I'm just telling you, he is set up perfectly. Free agency, money-wise, he has a lot of money. If he wants to trade for somebody, like if there's a linebacker, I know some people have floated JOK's name out there. I don't know if he's on the trade block or not, but a guy in the final year of a rookie deal that maybe a team's going to lose, he has a lot of flexibility to do that. He also, because of the way this team is constructed, he can go out there and he can draft a Brock Bowers. He could draft a wide receiver, a cornerback. It doesn't have to be specifically what position we need the most. He can address those later in the draft. Howie Roseman is scary right now. He's scary for the NFL because he's got money, he's got draft picks, he's got flexibility, and when Howie Roseman has all those things, you better watch out. That's just the truth of the matter. So I can't wait to see what the Eagles are going to do. Draft can't get here soon enough. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat, and remember, it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. You know, it's really getting pathetic out there. It really is pathetic. Like, dude, there's no movies to watch. My wife is like, let's go see a movie this week. I'm like, all right, what do you want to go see? I don't know. There's nothing I want to see. Like, literally nothing. There's nothing on any of these streaming services. You know, it's like, when's Tulsa King's coming back? There's nothing. There's nothing to watch. Better Call Saul got finished, and it's been all hell since then. I don't know what to say. I think that movies and TV shows, it's becoming pathetic. Now, I do want to see Civil War. That's coming out. I think it's coming out early April. I'm definitely going to go see that. I want to see who they blame and how they portray who the good guy is and the bad guy. I think that will be really interesting. But I'm looking forward to that. But other than that, there ain't nothing good to watch. Since I look like Denzel Washington, I may have to go out and start doing my own movies. Denzel Washington out.